gives her a chance to lift her chin, smile and sit up. That what she did was clever.
What would we even do with such a house?
When the cloakroom arrived, we held hands and cherished our history.
A night of spoken word, good food and music. The Word Theatre is putting on a special event next week. It's called An Evening with Ben Shattuck. And joining me now is actor Michael Provost. He'll be performing in the show. So good to have you here.
Thank you for having me, Amy.
Yeah, so I have to ask you, we often see more, how shall I say, seasoned actors involved in these. And You're probably one of the younger ones who will be involved. What drew you to this?
WordTheatre is at the crossroads of some other organizations I've worked with in my life. Groups like Made by Dyslexia, the Barbara Bush Foundation, Acting Out, groups that are bringing theater to schools here locally in LA or are bringing attention to dyslexia, ADHD, other neurodivergencies. And then as a performer, as an actor, what makes WordTheatre so special and so attractive is I get to use my job, use the thing that I love to do to also help bring about some kind of change.
Yeah. And I would imagine too, as an actor, I mean, this is like really being on stage without the lights, camera, the costumes, the all the effects. It's just you and the words.
Yes, much simpler, and there's a beauty in that, right? And when you're reading, it's like everyone turns into a 6-year-old. Suddenly we're all back in kindergarten, and everyone just comes to the edge of their seat. And there's a magic to it. You don't need the costumes, you don't need the lights. It's all happening on the page.
Yes, and then, I mean, did you know about Ben Shattuck before?
I did not. So this is my first time reading his work. Strikes me as a very down-to-earth kind of guy. I have family from Massachusetts. All his stories take place in the Northeast. It's kind of like an ode to that part of the country. And so when he brings up places like Nantucket and Boston, I've been there, I've spent time there. And
it makes it special to know what he's really talking about. Yeah, and do you know some of the other people that will be there with you?
Yes, Miss Jo Beth Williams, who is an 80s icon. Films like The Poltergeist. Yeah, she'll be there. Reading a story with me. We'll be reading The Silver Clip, which is in this, A History of Sound.
Did you get to pick what you...
I did not.
Okay,
I did not.
They told you?
Yes.
And so tell me a little bit about what you're reading.
So The Silver Clip is about a young man who has signed on to help renovate his parents' home in Nantucket, but he's doing it through the winter, and winters in the Northeast are brutal, as we know. It is cold and it is old up there. And while he's in Nantucket, he strikes up a relationship with an older woman, and they, it's about a moment that they share together where he's actually painting her portrait, a portrait that her late husband was working on. And what's interesting is that the way Ben writes is he's connecting these stories. So the story right before The Silver Clip, there's a painting in it. And that painting then shows up in my story, which is separated by 200 years of history.
Wow, interesting.
Yes, and he's kind of pointing to the fact that history, like we are connected to our past in ways far more obscure than we think, that we're constantly surrounded by those things long forgotten.
And we should mention that he is not only an author, he's also a painter. So I'm sure, part of that imagery is all tied into his own creativity.
1000%. I mentioned The Silver Clip, there's painting in that. And throughout, he's a creative writing about creativity. That idea of like writing what you know. There's a lot of that in his work.
Yeah, well, it sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun for everyone who will not only get to see you and so many other people reading, but also enjoy good food. I mean, I'm seeing margaritas.
Margaritas, taco truck. That's right. Yeah, that's right. It wouldn't be Santa Monica if there weren't margaritas and tacos. So I mean, that's really why I'm showing up.
Yeah.
The reading aside, I just love a cheap margarita.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, and a good taco.
And a
Yeah,
good taco.
Can't complain about
That's
that.
right.
Thank you so much for joining us. Certainly a pleasure to meet you.
Likewise, Amy.
And again, Word Theatre's An Evening with Ben Shattuck is next Thursday in Santa Monica, and you can find more information by going to kcalnews.com and clicking on Seen on TV.